living full-time on a boat, here are 25 of the most frequently asked questions. How many countries have you visited?
25 countries and territories, over 100 islands. We started in the Caribbean and circled around there, then came to Panama, crossed the Panama Canal, and now we're exploring South Pacific.
How do you have Wi-Fi in the middle of nowhere?
We have satellite connection through Starlink. We got it 2 years ago and it has been a game changer for us while we were traveling.
Are you scared of pirates?
Piracy is a real thing, so we try to avoid all the areas that could have pirates.
Are you scared of storms?
Storms can cause a disaster on a boat, so we try to avoid storms, and fortunately we live in the era where we know the weather. There are tools that allow us to know where the storms are, where they're moving, so we can avoid them ahead of time.
What about sharks? Are you scared of them?
We do have a healthy fear of sharks. We love seeing sharks when we're snorkeling, but we do have a healthy fear of them. So not getting too close, not swimming when we know that they're feeding, and just being cautious. How can you afford this lifestyle?
So I used to have a software development company, and then when I sold it, we were able to afford this lifestyle. However, I know a lot of people who work from their boats and they live this lifestyle. So in reality, you really don't have to have a lot of money to do this. By the way, we have a video that is pinned. It's called Our Story, and it talks about what we did.
Where are you from?
I was born in Russia, Grant was born in Armenia. We both immigrated separately with our families to United States in our teen years. We met in United States and our girls are born in California.
Wow, so what languages do you speak?
I speak Russian and English.
I speak Armenian, Russian, and English. And if I'm very hungry, I can communicate in Spanish.
I speak English, I'm passable in Russian, and because we are traveling in French territories, I learned French as well.
I speak English, am pretty fluent in Spanish, and am learning Russian.
What kind of boat are you on?
We're on a 50-foot lagoon catamaran. A catamaran means there are 2 holes.
Why did you call the boat Song of the Sea?
We compiled a list of possible names and voted on them. My suggestion, Song of the Sea, came out on top. Little did they know it's a reference from the Professor Layton video game series.
What motivated you to move on a boat?
I dreamed of sailing the world since I was 5 years old. I read a ton of books. My favorite author is Jules Verne. So when I sold the company, the time was to embark on the adventure.
What do you miss most about being on land?
Our family and friends. That's why we feel so blessed when they come and visit us.
Wait, there are 2 older sisters?
Yes, we have 4 daughters. There are 2 older sisters, Bella and Natasha, and they're both married and independent.
Do you fish from the boat?
Yes, we fish on the boat, especially on passages.
How do you do laundry?
We have a small washing machine and then we do the line drying.
How's your social life?
We constantly meet new people and make new friends, whether they're other boaters or island locals. We also maintain relationships with our family and friends back in California, mainly using FaceTime.
Out on the water, have you seen mermaids or aliens?
No. Aww.
Do you have merch?
Yes, the link to our store is in our bio, where you can get custom Song of the Sea merchandise with our logo that I made.
What was your biggest passage?
22 days, over 3,000 nautical miles from Galapagos to Marquesas.
Fun fact, we've done over 21,000 nautical miles, which is almost the distance of circumnavigating on the equator.
Do you guys drop anchor during a passage?
No, the ocean is far too deep for us to anchor when we're not at an island. So we have to continue moving until we reach a destination, even at night.
Do you have shifts during overnight passages?
That we do. Usually I take the full night because I'm a night owl, and Mama joins me for the first half of the night, and Anastasia joins me for the second half. Papa takes the daytime.
Do you guys get bored on the boat?
No! No, boat life, homeschooling, socializing, and exploring all keep us very busy.
What if you have a medical emergency?
All 4 of us took a first aid classes and we have quite an extensive first aid kit. And we have our medical insurance that have a telehealth with it, so if we needed a doctor advice, we can get on the phone with it. And on top of it, about 90% of the time we're near the land where medical care is available.
Last question, how much fuel do you have on board?
Between the two tanks, we have 1,000 liters or approximately 250 gallons of fuel. With that said, we prefer to sail. First of all, it's free. Second of all, it's awesome to use the power of wind to propel you. And thirdly, the boat feels much more comfortable when you're sailing than we're motoring, especially in waves.
Whew, that was a lot. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, had your question answered, and if not, please let us know what other questions you have.
We're a family of 4 living on a boat. Recently we answered a bunch of questions, and so here are 10 more questions that you guys are asking.
What do you do for school?
I am currently in 11th grade and am homeschooled. Mama bought me approved curriculums, particularly club courses that will give me college credits once I take the club exam. So I'm really excited about that.
I graduated from high school at Song of the Sea Academy earlier this year. Now I am a freshman in university online. I'm majoring in business administration.
How do you go to shore?
So if we need to leave our house, the big boat, we're using our car, the dinghy, to go wherever we need to go. And we named our dinghy Dancer because she is dancing to the Song of the Sea.
Where do you get your food?
90% of the time we're actually near the land, and even though if it's not a huge variety of their products, we do find almost everything that we need in the local grocery stores and their markets. If we go to the big passages, we stock up and fill up our freezers and the pantries so we can hold a lot of foods for 3 weeks or over, whatever we need. And we do fish, especially on the passages. However, it's still not a very big percentage of food that we consume.
How do you dispose of trash?
If there is ever anything organic, like the peel of a fruit, like this banana, we throw it in the water so that fishies and crabs can eat it. But if there's anything that is non-biodegradable, non-organic, we take all of the trash and bring it to the facilities on the islands that they have for trash. And as for our black water tanks, we go 3 miles from shore minimum before we dump those wastes. Being 3 miles away from shore is the legal requirement and we follow it. What do you do when something on your boat breaks?
So I've become a mechanic, electrician, plumber, fiberglass layer, and whatever else is needed. YouTube is my friend. I do buy a lot of extra parts just in case something that I need to replace cannot be fixed. And then sometimes I do need to hire a professional experts to help me with a particular task if I cannot fix it.
How do you check into islands or countries?
Different countries have different requirements for boats that come in. Most of the countries would have a formal process of letting them know that we're coming in ahead of time. And then once we get to the port, we would need to go to Port Authority, Customs, Immigration, and a couple of other departments. Most of the time we visit those departments one at a time. In some countries, those departments come to you to your boat. When we go to an office, we do usually present our passports, our boat documentation, exit documents from the prior port of call, super important, and insurance.
Have you ever seen aliens in the ocean?
No, none of us have ever seen any aliens. I know there's a lot of buzz going around about them right now, so sorry to disappoint.
How do you get mail and those Amazon packages?
Any letters or packages get sent to my grandpa's house in California, where he will call my dad and they will look over it all together. If we ever need anything with us in person here on the boat, whenever we have friends or family visiting, they will bring it to us. And if you've been following us for a while, you can see we constantly have friends and family visiting. We're social butterflies, what can we say?
What is the speed of your boat motoring versus sailing?
So we have a condo, Moran, on water. In other words, it's a condo, it's very heavy, it moves very slow, but it moves. So when there is no wind, we do about 6 knots with 1 engine, maybe 7 knots with 2 engines. If we have wind, then we prefer to sail, and we can do 7 or 8 knots, depend on the angle of the wind.
How do you pick where to go next?
We follow the horizon lines and the beautiful clouds and see what beautiful places it takes us to. No. We look at charts and common sailing patterns when making plans. We see what islands in particular interest us, and we decide when we go to each island based off of the weather. We don't want to be in the cyclone belt during cyclone season after all. We hope you enjoyed this Q&A.
Thanks for watching!